Hi friends, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Bria. If you're not new here, thanks so much for returning. I do this little thing every once in a while on this channel where I talk about reality TV and everything that's going on in the reality TV world. And baby, we have some things to discuss about this Love Island USA reunion. It just aired on Peacock a couple hours ago and I have thoughts. There was a lot that went on. There was also a lot that Peacock missed. If there's anything that you wish they would have addressed or anything that you didn't like how the conversation went, make sure to leave it in the comments because I'm sure there's some stuff that I forgot because there was a lot that was going on. And if you're into reality TV like I'm into reality TV, make sure that you subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these, especially because Bravo's time is right around the corner. It's right around the corner. So lock in now, girlies. Now I'm gonna skip right over the Love Island USA reunion looks. I already did a whole video on that. I'm gonna link it up there. If you haven't seen that video, go watch it. I talk about all the looks. I rank them from my least favorite to my most favorite. If you have thoughts on that, let me know as well. But we're gonna skip right over that and we're gonna get into the meat and the potatoes of the reunion, honey. So I talked about this in the reunion look video as well, but I honestly think that 25 people is way too many people to have at a reunion. Of course, there was way too congested. There were way too many opinions. There were way too many people talking. A lot of the initial like bombshells, a lot of the cast of people, they did not need to be there. It literally just cluttered up the stage and it was just people for the sake of there being people. And a lot of times they were not even engaged in conversation that meant anything. Like Hakeem, Harrison, I don't think they said a word on the stage. Like, what was the point of them being there? I don't know. They literally could have zoomed in. Now, as Ariana's going around the room doing her like check-ins, making sure everyone's doing okay, she checks in with Hannah. One of the first things that happened is Hannah said that she was not expecting all the backlash that she got on her makeup. Y'all were selling to that girl. Did her makeup look good? No. Did it look good at the reunion? It looked better. But y'all were mean to her for no reason. I'm actually really sad that she was so sad because y'all are just bullies for nothing. Leave that girl alone. She didn't do anything. She was a nice neutral character. Y'all don't have to be so mean to her. She's working on it. She said on her Instagram and her social media, she's working on her makeup. They also checked on Kordell and he did officially get his Cheez-It deal. So good for Kordell. I actually am really rooting for him. If you saw one of my very first Love Island videos, I was not rooting for Kordell. I actually wish nothing but the worst on him, but he's grown on me. I like him. I love that his long-term goal became a short-term goal, so now it's time to dream bigger. Maybe it's time to dream bigger. Now, Ariana's continuing to go around the room, just check on everyone. She checks in on Kenny and Janae. Now, here comes this little mosquito in our ear who will not go away. Here comes Coye piping up. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, I didn't watch the season back. Which one? Why are you speaking on Janae and Kenny if you didn't even watch the episodes with Janae and Kenny? That's literally an ego thing. That's something that you should definitely check. But he was like, yeah, I didn't watch the episodes. I shouldn't have spoken on your relationship, XYZ. Janae and Kenny, like literally king and queen that they are not even blinking an eye. They're literally staring straight ahead. Like, and then he low-key's like, I hope you accept my apology. Will you accept my apology? Okay, my apology though. Okay, you apologize. We don't have to accept it in the moment. Like, don't try to force us into accepting an apology because you were so loud on social media. We don't want to hear it now. I am glad that he piped up though because Janae was definitely coming for him. So I'm glad he got ahead of it because I feel like Janae was not about to be nice to him. Next couple that they checked in on was Kendall and Nicole. Now, I have never been a fan of either of them, especially Kendall. But baby, y'all made me a fan of Kendall tonight. Y'all absolutely made me a fan of him tonight because what is Nicole talking about? Essentially, it came out that the video that was exposed of Kendall was actually a pretty recent video. I think he sent it to someone right before he went on Love Island. And so it was recent where initially he had told Nicole that this was a video that he had sent to someone years ago, XYZ, and they had leaked it because he got famous, whatever. That wasn't the truth because it was not a few years ago. It was like a few months ago, right before Love Island started. Nicole is all in her feelings about that. And I honestly, truly believe that she is choosing to anchor to that instead of just saying, I don't like you. I was in this for the money. I wanted the $100,000 and now that I don't have that, I need an out that does not make me look bad to everyone else. Instead of just saying, hey, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, she's trying to anchor to anything that she can anchor to not make her feel like the bad guy when all of this ends. I 100% agree that she's probably gone through some things as well as a result of those videos getting leaked of Kendall. 100%. I'm not negating the fact that like it wasn't hard on her too. It would be hard on me to even like see that video and be like, I'm supposed to that will be hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think from the beginning though, Nicole has been in here to win. And now that winning did not happen, I think she's kind of being forced to confront the fact that like, she actually does not like this man. And I think that she does not want America to hate her for pretending that she liked that man. So that's something that she has to figure out. The lip quiver was absolutely crazy. I feel like she's gonna watch that back and be like, oof. But I am glad that everyone kind of piped in and was like, no, sister, you're being literally unreasonable, because she was indeed being very unreasonable. One thing about Serena, she's going to laugh, bro. She is going to giggle her way through it. She'd be so uncomfortable, and she's just like me for real. When I'm uncomfortable, I will laugh my way through it. I will giggle. I do not care. I think Leah piped in, and here goes Serena trying to hide her face, literally giggling behind her hands, bro. Like, I feel it because she's literally just like me, but girl, can you be serious for like 10 minutes? I also was surprised that Rob came into the situation with like a little bit of common sense, like with a lot of reason, with like a lot of, hey, you know, we understand both sides and we're not gonna fault you either way. But I think he came in as like a very logical, reasonable voice that was like a very calming presence in a lot of chaos that was happening at the time. Also, I really enjoyed that once that scene cut, Kenny was like, bro, you did not handle that well. You just needed to be able to say, like, I'm taking accountability, XYZ. Instead of, you know, giving a bunch of excuses as to why it happened, just be like, I was wrong. I need to take accountability for it, all that. I do appreciate when men hold their friends accountable, and we love to see that. Now, here's what I will say. Kenny and Nicole are still together. Technically, they're still together. They're still in a relationship right now. I don't foresee that lasting for very long. I think she's looking for an out. I honestly think that the video is her way out. I don't think that after this reaction at the reunion that everyone's gonna be on board with that being her reason, but I think she's grown. She can do what she wants. Like, we're not gonna force you to stay in a relationship, girl. Next thing that they addressed was all of Rob's different love triangles, and PPG, my type of girls. Those are some shady girls. They were laughing throughout the entire time that Rob was talking, because I think that Rob just be saying anything. I see through Rob. Once again, from the beginning, I said I see through Rob. I do not believe anything that comes out of his mouth. PPG, they can see it too. I love that. But they were laughing, giggling throughout Rob's whole monologue on like how he learned and like what he could have done differently, XYZ. And then Janae comes for Andrea. This is why I love Janae, bro. She's such a rider. Like, she is going to stand up for Serena. She's gonna stand up for Leah, even if they don't want to do it themselves or they're trying to like be nicey. Janae's like, nope, I got it. Don't even worry about it. She pulled out her notes. Janae was built for reality television, and I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. But in the next 5 to 10 years, honestly, 10 to 15 years, I aim to see her on somebody's Housewives franchise. She is literally built for reality TV, and we're gonna be seeing a lot more of her because the one-liners, the clips, the memes, she's literally got it in the bag, bro. And then she read her so eloquently. Liv even jumped in, basically saying that like, no, you're mad because everyone's painting you as a mean girl, but like you were actually a mean girl. Like, you were on the screen saying things that were very mean and very rude and like very ugly spirited. And now you're trying to like throw up your hands and act confused. Like, clock it. Then Janae ended it all with like, we'll be good as long as you keep Leah's name out your mouth. Period, point blank, we can leave it right there. That's what that is what I'm talking about. Like, go ahead, nip it in the bud. We don't need to do the back and forth. I don't need to hear the apologies. Just keep my name out your mouth moving forward. I love that Janae clocked her like that, as she should have. Next was a whole segment on the Casa Amor girls and the Bombshells and all these different things. This is where I feel like we kind of started to lose the plot. We did not need this section at all. Actually, we could have accomplished so much more without it. They replayed the whole like Bombshells entering and Casa Amor girls entering scenes, which I honestly think was messy because like the girls on stage that are actually in the Final Four, they're not trying to relive that. Like, don't be rude. But they replayed the entire thing. And a couple of notes from like the clips that they replayed and then also the conversations that they had after it. I always thought that the scene where Kenny walked in with Catherine was so funny because she really looked like a deer in headlights. Like, why did she look so like scared? I mean, maybe she was scared because walking up to PPG with one of their men on your arm, to be honest, I would be very nervous. But she literally could see it in her eyes. She was like, literally a deer in headlights. Like, are you good, girl? Connor got his little 10 seconds of fame. I couldn't even tell you what he was talking about, to be honest. But Janae, she looked so bored, didn't even like blink. She was just like, can we please get him to shut up? Kenny talked about Catherine for a little while as well, just kind of like talking about how he brought someone back to the house and, you know, he wasn't in the right headspace, XYZ. And Janae was just looking at him like eyes locked. And I'm sure Kenny was real nervous. I would be nervous because Janae be clocking it. So it's like, don't say nothing wrong because she's listening to every word that you're saying, every single word. Don't even mess up. Then it started this whole like anti-bullying campaign, which I do think was kind of necessary for this reunion and like this season specifically, because a lot of the fans of the show have like completely lost it, thinking that these are characters and not like real people with, like they said, like real family, real friends, like real lives per se. The fact that people's like private videos and pictures are getting leaked is absolutely insane. People are like sending threats to people over TikTok and like all in people's Instagram comments, like, why'd you say this to Leah, or why did you say this to Serena, and all these different things. It's simply not necessary. It's reality TV. It's not real. It's a very fake thing. So let's reel it on in. I'm glad they did the whole anti-bullying thing. It did feel very #ad to me, but I think it was necessary. Like they kind of needed to like cover some bases because the fans have like completely lost it this season. All that being said, Dea was the one to actually start off that conversation, which I did feel was like a little bit out of place, just especially with her not being like one of the main cast members, but I think her heart was in a good place, so it needed to happen anyway, so if she did it, fine. I did like that they addressed like not being so mean to the Casa girls, because at the end of the day, they do have a role to play being the Casa girls. I think that some of them maybe took that role a little far, including Dea, but it's still not an excuse to like bully them or anything like that. Like at the end of the day, they were sent into the villa to steal somebody's man, and she succeeded. I mean, short term, but she succeeded nonetheless. That was a little check for me too, to be quite honest. Like, it's a good reminder that like everyone on reality TV kind of plays a role, and these are not always people's like real genuine values and personalities, but more so like the situations that they're being put into in reality TV. So just like take a breath, get a grip. Sometimes it is reality TV, even though they're real people, the situations are not always real. Then Leah jumped into the campaign as well, asking everyone to stop being so mean to Rob, because everyone's kind of getting up on Rob, like, why did you treat Leah like this? You're moving shiesty or whatever, which he was. She was just basically like, I didn't ask any of y'all to stand up for me. I don't need any of y'all to stand up for me. Leave it alone. It's fine. She also stand up for Andrea, which I will say that one was, in my opinion, a lot less required and a lot more generous of her. I think that Andrea opened the door to those conversations to happen when she got on TikTok Live and TikTok running her mouth and talking poorly about everybody. I don't think that it was Leah's requirement to get on national TV and tell everyone to leave Andrea alone and to be nice to her, because Andrea started the conversation and then she was a little taken aback when everyone didn't respond as well and nobody was on her side. So I think that that is like a consequences of Andrea's actions type of thing, but it was very kind and very generous of Leah to tell everyone to just back off for a little while. Next was Crybaby, Kaylor, and Aaron. This, I think, was really the only like tea that was spilled throughout the entire reunion, because I still have questions. Essentially, they check in on Kaylor and Aaron, and they're just basically like, oh, how's it been? And Aaron's like, not well. It comes out that Aaron lied to Kaylor about everything that happened in the house with Daniela, which, like, big shock. But he reveals it on the stage before giving Kaylor a heads up. Like, he used that as his moment to be honest to Kaylor and to tell the truth to her. Did he think that like doing it on camera, like in front of everyone, did he think that was gonna like lessen the blow? Like, oh, maybe she won't tweak out as much if I do it in front of everyone. I really feel like he's missing a couple of brain cells, because nothing that he does really makes logical sense to me. Complete miss. That was a complete miss. I have no clue what he was thinking. Literally no clue what he was thinking. But Kaylor loses it. Now, this was actually the energy that I think a lot of us were hoping we would get from Kaylor throughout the whole season. It's a little too late, but I do appreciate she's in a place now where she can stand up for herself. Do I buy it? No. I don't buy it. I think that this is a phase. I think that Kaylor will be back with Aaron, even if not officially, soon. I don't think that they're completely over. Unfortunately, I need the girl to stand up, and maybe she realizes that she has like a whole crew of people behind her, supporting her, wanting her to leave Aaron alone. Maybe that will help aid in her decision to leave that man alone. But would I bet money on it? No, not at all. Back to Janae being made for reality TV. This is where she broke out her popcorn. Her and Kenny literally eating popcorn out the bucket, looking at the Aaron and Kaylor tea. Loved that. Eventually she switches seats with Liv, which I could kind of tell by the way she like immediately turned to Ariana that like they did not want that to happen. But she was like, I'm sorry, Ariana, like I've been with this man so many days that he could have told me this, but he decides to tell me on the stage. That's crazy. Then Liv jumped in. Aaron was basically like, I didn't tell you because I didn't have the balls to. Liv jumped in like, you haven't had the balls for 2 months, like when are they going to drop? I'm confused. I will say this, Kaylor told us that she was not going to cry during that reunion, and she stood on that. She had a moment to cry, and it would have been justified, but she stood on that, and she didn't cry at all. Good for her. That was honestly the meat and the potatoes of the reunion, because they then spent a full 20 to 30 minutes replaying the fire pit scene of when Andrea got sent home, like between Leah, Kaylor, Liv, and Serena. They replayed that whole clip unedited. Now, this was a really good reminder. What we're seeing on reality TV is heavily edited, because that little section that was maybe 2 minutes in the real season was a full 20-30 minutes of unedited footage. What a waste of time for the actual things that we needed to address during this reunion, that you choose to fill it all up with 20 to 30 minutes of footage that we didn't actually need, that didn't tell us anything different than like what we already knew. That was such a waste of time. Essentially, they replayed the full unedited, uncensored version of Andrea getting home, how the whole conversation went, XYZ. Now, when they announced this, Leah, Serena, low-key Kaylor, they're all kind of shook, immediately shook. Like they kind of were like, ooh, we didn't expect for this footage to come out. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of the Leah fans were maybe thinking that this footage would vindicate Leah. It didn't do that. Liv was actually the driver of the whole situation. She was calling all the shots, honestly. Leah was passenger seat. She was not in the back seat. She was right next to Liv. She might not have been as loud or as vocal as Liv, but she was up there. I think that the only person who really took a back seat was Serena. That was the only person who was like, I'm not in it. But once again, they did not tell us anything, and it was a huge waste of time. A huge waste of time for the 90 minutes that we got for that reunion. I feel like it could have been put towards something so much more important than unedited clips. I'm not even gonna say that no one asked for it, because people have been asking for it. That's something they could have like released on like the app or like the website, or like directed someone to it after the actual screen time. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Before I wrap the video, I want to spend a couple minutes on what I feel like Peacock missed and what I wish they would have spent a little more time on, or at least touched on. Number one, I do not understand why no one addressed Daya for actually being in OBJ's comments. During that whole scene, when someone like read in a comment from social media and was like, hey, are you only with Kordell because you want to get with OBJ, XYZ? She was crying. She was so distraught. Like, I don't know why somebody would say that. I'm not in his DMs, XYZ. And the receipts came out, baby girl. You indeed were in those Instagram comments. And I wish somebody would address that on camera for everyone to see, because why did you stand so tall in that lie? Like, we wouldn't find out. I don't like that. Also, for Kordell and Serena, I feel like for them to have been the winners of this entire thing, I feel like they got basically no screen time. We heard from them at the beginning where they were like, we're in a relationship now. We heard that Kordell got his Cheez-It sponsorship. Anyone else remember anything where we heard from them? Because I don't. Now, I know I was writing for Kendall a little bit earlier. I know, but I really, really wish that someone would have addressed how Kendall was treating Serena throughout the whole season. I feel like a lot of the way that Kendall was treating Serena is rooted in a general, I'm not even gonna say dislike, but distaste for Black women. I think that someone also should have addressed the fact that he kicked those Black girls out of his section in Dallas. I think that those are two things that we kind of glossed over. I think that, you know, Kendall didn't do anything brazen to Serena. I think it was the little jabs or like the way that he would kind of address Kordell about Serena. I honestly just think it's something that the fans, especially the Black girl fans, maybe would have benefited from hearing something about. I also think that Connor got off way too easy. No one addressed how he completely switched up on Janae, how he completely just started being so mean to her for no reason and so rude to her. I wish that somebody would have dug into him just a little bit, because he was one of those people that sat on the stage and did absolutely nothing. And I think that he actually could have served a purpose if Janae would have said something to him, or if someone would have brought that up. I think that Janae could have clocked him too. Also, on the day that the reunion shot, there was a really big conversation happening around Daniela and Sierra. They were crying, talking about like suicide prevention and taking care of yourself, and one of them called their experience in New York so traumatic, and they're like, you know, when I come back, I hope it's so much less traumatic. From what I saw on that reunion, I have no indication of what made this trip so emotional for them, and I wish that if something did happen, they would have showed us, because I'm a little confused as to why they were so emotional and distraught when they didn't say more than 2 words on the stage. So it had to be something that happened backstage, and I hope that it does come out, but I wish that they would have like shown a little bit more of that so that we weren't all confused. Maybe it was a whole PR thing that just would get people to watch, but they seemed pretty upset, like full boohoo crying on social media, and I feel like something would have happened for them to have done that. And then finally, like I said from the beginning, there were so many people on that stage that could have zoomed in that we did not need to actually be on the stage. Hakeem, Connor, Harrison, Cassie, like these are all people that did not need to be on the stage, and I think it's very kind of Peacock to extend the invitation for them to come back, but I think it ultimately just took away from the little time that we had in the first place. So that is my recap on the Love Island USA season 6 reunion. Overall, I would rate this reunion a 5.5 out of 10. I was completely underwhelmed, if I'm being honest. There were a lot of questions that went unanswered. There was a lot more digging that could have been done, and I don't even think it's Ariana's fault. I think there were just too many people on the stage. There was too much to get through, and it took away from answering some of the real questions. So that's how I felt about that. Let me know in the comments what you think. If there's anything I missed, if you think I'm completely off about something, let me know below. If you like this reality TV recap, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these because Real Housewives of New York City is right around the corner, okay? Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for caring. I will see you guys next time. Bye.